A very good evening to you. Welcome to the first edition of the show for the week. Promises to be exciting as always. I'm Yemi Adebayo. Well, on a day like this, there's a lot to talk about. There's a whole lot of things happening at the same time. I mean, take your pick. You could start from the just concluded IAAF World Athletics Championship. Piece of cherry news coming this morning, talking about Ese Brume. We'll talk about that on the show tonight as we move on. You could also talk about, beach soccer on the show as well. Tonight, you have a slice of badminton and you have a slice of cricket as well on the show. Well, what's been happening abroad? Of course, season of international friendlies. Tomorrow, the big one, the Germans and Argentina. We'll talk about that. I mean, two nations with 6 World Cups between them. It doesn't get bigger than that. Of course, Nigeria will be in the mix in a few days to come. We're up against 5-time world champions Brazil, but that's going to be on Sunday. There's also talking about the fallout of the failure of the Super Falcons to qualify for the 2020 Tokyo Olympics. And of course, we now hear that Thomas Dennerby has resigned. I mean, we've been asking the questions, nobody's been answering, but of course, we've gotten an answer. So, I mean, that's the outlook of the show today. We're spoiled for choices. There's a lot to talk about, and hopefully we'll be able to cover all the ground. But of course, let me pause a little and bring you into all that we're doing. Just in case you're watching us for the first time, wanted to be a part of what we're doing on the show tonight. And this is just how you can be a part of the show. You can be a part of the show through this means. You can get across to us on Facebook, Channels-Sports. That's how you can get across to us. You can talk about some of the issues that we've raised, give your own opinion to those issues. Let us know how you feel about those issues as well. You can also get across to us on the verified handle that you have right there on your screen, at Channels_Sports. There you go. It's engaging. You can talk and keep the conversation going. A lot to talk about in there. So that's how you can be a part of the show tonight. All right, before I talk about Ese Brume, because I'm very eager to talk about Ese Brume, and we're going to continue talking about her for a very long time to come. But let me introduce my partner that starts off the show with me. Kehinde Idris joins me this lovely Tuesday evening. Kehinde, it's good to have you join me. I don't know which one was your pick, but definitely a lot to choose from.
Yes, definitely lots to choose from, and it's nice, being on the show with you. I think for me, is an issue we dwelled on some weeks back that I was here on this show, and it's particularly sad. Talking about Falcons and Chris Dan, like I call him now, Christopher Danjuma. And I would really, really love to dwell on that because I'm very livid. I'm sad at this moment because it seemed like we don't understand when the saying goes, does a thunder strike at the same place? I think it's happening again. 2016 qualifiers for Brazil Olympics, Danjuma, we couldn't qualify. Now for 2020 Tokyo, Danjuma again, we couldn't qualify. I guess that's the pick for me. Ese Brume, fantastic, but this issue is particularly pick for me.
All right, that's one that he decides to start with. I'm not going to start with that. I want to smile. I want to smile on the show tonight, and there's a reason to smile. Let's show you pictures, something heartwarming done for Ese Brume by our colleagues, a welcome party. The Nigerian who got a bronze at the World Athletics Championship. Here's Ese Brume returning to Eastern Mediterranean University. That's in Northern Cyprus, and that's the kind of welcome she received. I mean, what else can we say? Look at the applause, look at the reception, look at what she received. Showing how well the effort is being appreciated. And I remember you and a couple of other guys, even before she set foot right there in Doha, you guys were saying, look, if there's anybody
prospect
that could get us something, Ese Brume, and she's always not far away from tears.
Always not far away from tears because she's as sincere a human as possible. And one of the reasons why we said that going into the World Athletics Championship, Ese Brume is the second best long jumper around the world. So it is just a no-brainer to have tagged her as one of our medal prospects. Now, look at this reception. And I ask, the smile, the happiness, the joy. I think everybody you can see, they understands one thing. They understand the magnitude of her achievement. They understand where she went to, the kind of competition she met, the kind of competition she went through, and coming back with a bronze. This is a young lady that competed, that had to compete against top long jumpers around the world. And maybe about 40, 50 long jumpers started all of this, and you're coming out third best. I think this is what she should get anywhere she steps foot, anywhere she gets into, whether Nigeria, Cyprus, or wherever. But the question begs, has Nigeria done anything spectacular to congratulate this lady or to say, well done for everything you have done?
A lot of people say probably early days, so maybe let's wait. Let's not preempt.
Yes, I'm not preempting.
Let's wait.
We're still waiting for the date that the president or the presidential setup will meet the D Tigers and the D Tigress. They promise they are going to meet up with them, and we're waiting for days. Receptions like this are done as spontaneous as possible. Like a snap of the finger. You prepare for it before it comes.
But Kennedy, I do agree with you, and I don't know if I'm trying to play devil's advocate, but let's not ruin the moment.
I'm not.
Let's enjoy.
I'm just saying I'm happy for Ese Brume and also the setup of the university giving her this kind of reception.
All right, so they understand what it takes, and of course, our joy knows no bounds, and of course, it's something that is really, really heartwarming. So we wish her all the best, and hopefully in Tokyo she might be able to do one better. Do one better, and
she has taken one or two things away from here. Why she finished third. So she would, she should do one better when it comes again.
All right, so hopefully that's going to be the case with Ese Brume. Yeah. All right, let's move on the show and talk some badminton. I told you we're going to give you a slice of badminton. In a few days to come, the Badminton Championship will begin. That's on October 9.
Yeah.
And the Badminton Federation have told us how huge, not that we don't know anyway,
of course,
how huge this tournament has become for the players and getting ranking points, climbing on that, climbing on the ladder. And of course, there's also news about another tournament that's going to be held later. But the good one about this is the opportunity the top players, the top stars get to, show their stuff, show what they can do. And we're finally finding ways to cut out this issue of, I couldn't participate in this because there was no this, there was no that. And most of our federations are now getting good at hosting tournaments because they know probably if it's outside of the shores of Nigeria, maybe their athletes won't go.
Hear me? When this Badminton Federation, came into board, I can remember interviewing the president, and I said, what are you going to do differently? Especially, we are all clamoring and talking about, the cut down on age cheat and all. And they said, one of the reasons why we have age cheat and does not help us eventually, especially in the senior team, is that we don't have competition scattered around the age cadres. We don't have competition for every cadre. Now, the Badminton Federation has showed us over time, now matching talk with work, that there is under 10 competition. There is under 13, there is under 16, there is under 19. So everybody in the course of the year have got a competition they are looking forward to. Whether, in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, whichever way it is, everybody have got one or two competitions they are participating. So if I am a 20-year-old and I have my competition that I'm looking forward to, all I need to do is start, getting prepared for my competition so that I will compete well against those, at my level. If I do not have such competition, I will be looking forward to being part of the under-13 competition.
Yeah.
Because I don't have anywhere to showcase everything I've learned in the training ground or in the training room. So, the Badminton Federation, every time I give them kudos, not because some people feel the president or the board is media friendly. No, they are media friendly because they show, everything as plain as possible, and they let us have a reason to cover one or two competitions every now and then. We talked about the 5th international, badminton classics. Now we're talking about, the national classics, and this is where it should be. Engagement every now and then. And if you go to these classics, it won't be about the seniors alone. You'll find the, age grade, scattered around. And badminton, just thumbs up. Keep doing this. And I hope this, after this board leaves, it will be a case of a template, not a passion by one man.
Yeah, that's what we're hoping for as well. All right, let's quickly move on the show and also talk about the Lagos Open Tennis Championship. That's one thing that's also become synonymous with Lagos. I mean, it's interesting. A lot of good things are happening. I don't know if you feel about this the same way you feel about the badminton.
I do. It used to be the Governor's Cup, and then it was changed to Lagos Open last year, where the man in charge, Prince, talking about when you go to top tennis tourneys around the world, the cities, comes with the Open. And, it's just like a norm. Reason why Lagos, that host, this competition every now and then, now had to fine-tune the name from Governor's Cup to make people out there understand it is just at par with the US Open, Tokyo Open, all of these top cities, and Lagos Open. It's just fantastic. And, some Grand Slam, I think that was Wimbledon or Australian Open, a player that was here last year participated in one of those Grand Slam. And that is growth. How well do you measure yourself, other than having a player who had played here, now playing in top Grand Slams around the world? And Lagos Open, like I mentioned about the badminton, I think this is something very exemplary, and it should never end.
All right, so let's listen to some of the critical stakeholders talking about the Lagos Open Tennis Championship. All right, so that's it. I was so eager to move away and talk about beach soccer, and we just left it off. We just took off from the Lagos Open Tennis Championship. This is something also that that has been brought Nigeria on the map for a lot of good reasons. Lagos, we've been able to host, bring top beach soccer countries to this nation. And the news now is that Brazil, England are going to compete in this year's 2019 Copa Lagos. And for me, that's heartwarming. I also hear Senegal is in the mix. So it is very good. I mean, it doesn't get bigger than that. And when you look at all of those things becoming a regular feature of our calendar, it makes you happy. It makes you happy. It makes you, feel, more a Nigerian than you can ever think of. But the gray area for me, Copa Lagos has become huge. Now, I wonder why we don't take advantage of what we've got. Number one, leverage. Now I'm happy some persons are taking advantage of the beaches scattered around, Lagos, where you can host any of this. And now, this is not the first time we're having top countries being part of this. Australia has been here. A whole lot of countries that participate in beach soccer have been here to be part of the Copa Lagos. They always wait for December to come because they know December, November, thereabouts. Something is going to happen in Lagos. And they've always heard about Lagos. And when they come down here, being part of Copa Lagos, they talk about the chanting fans, where you enjoy yourself as a player because the fans are either singing, screaming, dancing, doing something very, something very Nigerian. And they go back and tell the tales to other athletes or other, soccer players around the world, which makes them want to be a part of it next year. We should always take advantage of stuff like this because this is tourism embedded. This is, sports at their highest level. This is putting Nigeria on, on the maps for the right reasons, and it should be way huge. Ask me, Yemi. You're a sports, person in and out. I'm a sports person in and out. Reason why I know about Copa Lagos so well. Go on the street and ask an average Nigerian, do they know if Copa Lagos will be starting anytime soon? I doubt if they can, tell you yes. All right. I think probably that's failure on our own part, and that's why we're going to try to do more. There is a way you engage the media. Okay. Well, yes. Well, I guess I'll leave it at that for now. Let's listen to some of the critical stakeholders talking about the Copa Lagos, some of the new developments, some of the trends, and what to expect in this year's edition. Jonathan.
African champions. And unfortunately, they are Nigeria's nemesis. They've beaten us like 2 or 3 times to win the African title and all that. But they are still the best in Africa. And more importantly, Nigeria needs to be able to pair up with these teams to get ready for the World Cup. You and I know what's going on regarding preparations, but this for us is also part of the national service. That look, let's give the Nigerian Sand Eagles an opportunity to be competitively prepared.
Another Copa, more entertainment, a lot of fun, and ideally, the general concept is to send across the message that we're a good tourism destination for the rest of the world, because we have to start thinking of generating revenue outside of the oil industry.
It's something that I don't normally miss it, because I think if you look at the facilities, like the beach, we have one of the wonderful beaches in West Africa that I'm planning that we should have a beach soccer in no less time. It's something that I'm looking forward, and that's why I'm here, to see some of the promoters and to see how we can synergize together to get things done in Akwa Ibom concerning beach soccer.
We've been part of it from the outset, so we're very proud that we've gotten this far. The second one is that, it's one of great expectation. Where we are today is very far from where we're coming from, and we expect that the exponential growth would continue, such that the whole world will be waiting for this event. Now it's really the third international event. We expect to get to the point where we will compete with the World Cup.
All right, that's a huge statement, right there, Sheikh Akiomi. Talking about, I mean, you have to, you have to, what is that? You have to blow your own trumpet. I mean, that's the way they say it. It says he's looking for a time where this tournament would compete with the World Cup. I mean, that's the highest. It doesn't get bigger than that.
We can.
And I mean, you talked a whole lot about. I mean, you talked about a lot of things. And like I said, I've always been impressed with what is happening. Yeah. I do agree with you that probably a lot needs to be done, about the awareness.
Yes.
I mean, we have soccer crazy fans
of course,
in Lagos, everywhere in Nigeria.
Bring them in to see something different from regular football. And trust me, we know how to enjoy.
But don't you think the countries coming and some of the local sides that will be involved is enough draw to bring the fans?
Yes, it's enough. But you should understand, these countries coming, they are also going around the world to top, beach competitions, to just gather the points. These countries understand what it means to be a part of competitions. It puts you, at that height when you gather the points, and then probably, ratings come out, then competitions come, there is seeding in competitions. This is what these countries go around doing. And, yes, maybe it is good enough to draw some of the fans. But if I don't hear that US will be here, England will be here, how do I get to be part of the fans that would enjoy, everything they are bringing? So firstly, I have to know who would, or if the Copa America will be holding, then I ask question, who would be here? Thank God for what you're doing, Yemi. Thank God for bringing this. Some fans out there would have heard and then, tell some others. And we're doing our little bit, but we need them to help us, to engage us more, talking about the media.